Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, well, as now that we can come up from air from drowning in triggers and solvent traps and stabilizing braces for a bit, we could talk about some really important developments that's happening on the national level, at the appellate court level, as it relates to magazine bans. And we've done a couple of videos about that already. But let us not forget that there is a lawsuit currently active here in the Western District of the state of Washington called Sullivan v. Ferguson, that is meant to overturn Washington's magazine ban, which is now codified as RCW 9.41.370. Well, it's been a while since we had an opportunity to talk to Joel Ard. As you remember, Joel is lead counsel for Ms. Sullivan in this particular matter. And so there has been some developments, some of them encouraging, some of them not so much. So today, let's spend a few minutes and get you all up to speed and talk about some quick updates on Sullivan v. Ferguson, the suit to overturn Washington's magazine ban. Okay, before we get going down the road we are going down, proud to announce that this video is being brought to you by Security Gun Club. That's right, Washington's nicest indoor range is found in Woodinville, Washington. It is Security Gun Club, spelled with an E, not with a Y. That's not a misspelling. Hey, listen, there's only a couple things that actually exceeds the amazing facility that they have down there. Number one, they do have absolutely the nicest, most professional staff you will ever meet. Stop by, say hi, tell them I sent you. But the thing that I'm most proud about my relationship with security, well, that's their dedication to education. You see, Jackson, the head of training and curriculum over there, has developed an amazing program that will cater to anybody of any skill level, of any need. So whether you're brand new to firearms or you've been around firearms your entire life, they have classes for you. Hey, listen, you want to bone up on the law so you can stay out of prison just like you go to the range so you can stay out of the morgue? Well, sign up for their Basics of Self-Defense Law class taught by yours truly every month down there. Listen, for more information, visit them at securitygunclub.com. That is securitygunclub.com. Okay, so a lot has been happening since we last got to talk to Mr. Ard about the matter of Sullivan v. Ferguson. That is a lawsuit filed against Bob Ferguson to overthrow, find unconstitutional Washington's magazine ban passed through engrossed Senate Bill 5078. Now, as we know, there's all sorts of things happening on the national level, including some things happening in the Ninth Circuit, which would be highly relevant and applicable to us here in the state of Washington, including the fact that Duncan v. Banta, the challenge on California's magazine ban, has been kicked all the way back down to the trial court on a GVR from the Supreme Court, and is now going to be heard by the same judge who already found that law unconstitutional. We did a video about that already. It's right here. Check it out. You can geek out on that stuff right there. What's been happening in Sullivan v. Ferguson? Well, a few things. First of all, whenever you file a lawsuit like this against multiple defendants, everyone then files motions that, you got the wrong person. Hey, they don't have a claim of action against me. Hey, you got the wrong person, whatever. And a lot of that has been going on. I'm not going to bore you with any of that detail. There are two developments I want to talk about that I do think are relevant I want you to be aware of. Number one, despite the fact that Ms. Sullivan filed suit against several counties, several individuals, chiefs of police, acting sheriffs, county executives, county prosecutors, apparently someone was quite unsatisfied that they hadn't been sued. And that was the Alliance for Gun Responsibility, because they actually filed a motion to be added as a defendant. Yes, basically, hey, we haven't been sued, we'd like to be sued. I mean, it's technically what they're doing, but they basically wanted to stick their nose into this case. And of course, all parties are required to respond as to whether or not that would be acceptable. And of course, you can imagine what our Attorney General, Bob Ferguson, said, which was absolutely love to have them hop aboard. So what sometimes this is done, and was you're going to have very large briefings, is if you can bring extra parties in or bring them in under amicus, you can go well beyond the page limits that are normally set by the court to get into other areas that need to be briefed, but maybe you're constrained by your page limits. Now, so that's the first thing. We got new defendants added, and as far as I could tell when I was looking at the docket recently, no previous defendants have been able to successfully jettison themselves from the case. Okay, now the next piece of news, and this is a big one. We have a trial date. Yes, we do. That's the good news. The bad news, it's December 4th of 2023. That's right, about 14 months from now. Now, the court has set all other types of schedules for motions, briefings, and other types of discovery issues that need to be resolved all throughout the course of 2023. But this trial, if it got started right on time, is not starting until December of next year. Now, there could be a couple of reasons why this is occurring, and if we had Mr. Arden, maybe this is a question, if we get him back on here, we'll ask him. But number one, you could have court congestion, okay, and this is what happens, especially coming out of a pandemic. And number two, and this, I do suspect this a little bit, the court in Washington State, the Western District of Washington, is going to be fully aware of what's going on with Duncan v. Banta, the fact that this was GVR'd out of the Supreme Court. They are certainly aware of the holdings of New York Pistol and Rifle Association v. Bruin. And depending on how Judge Benitez rules in San Diego on Duncan v. Banta, and whether the state of California finally just gives in and waves the white flag, or do they try to run it back up the appellate flagpole again, that could be dispositive of this issue, or certainly give the trial court here in Washington all the reason to get themselves out of it with a positive ruling for the plaintiffs. So right now, if we're trying to read the tea leaves, is this case going to be resolved anytime soon? Not on the merits itself. No, it's probably not going to be resolved until late next year at the earliest on the merits itself. But could it be resolved by other legal rulings that will have an impact and authoritative value here in Washington? It most certainly could. And that's why we've done this video right here. And I really, really encourage all of you freedom fighters here in Washington State, you lawful and responsible gun owners, that if you're concerned about this magazine ban, as you should, you need to very carefully watch the developments in Duncan v. Banta. So that is kind of your up-to-the-minute developments on what's happening today in the matter of Sullivan v. Ferguson. Listen, in the meantime, you may have more questions about this or anything else related to your Second Amendment rights. And if you do, remember you can always contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.